Hello again, nice to be here with you. Today I'm going to still be looking at another wonderful topic, basic science precisely, and we're going to be talking about uniqueness of human beings, or you can say uniqueness of man. Now, how is man actually unique? We're going to be taking a look at other aspects or several reasons and, will I say, points, or yes, reasons and points why we believe that humans are actually unique when compared with other living organisms. All right. And we're going to be looking at so many sub topics that are actually very interesting. We're going to start by looking at humans as animals. Now, most persons feel insulted when they are told that they are animals. But actually, in terms of classifications, as you take a look at it, we're going to discuss more about it. In terms of classifications, humans are termed or classified as animals. We also have human beings as vertebrates. We are going to be looking at what vertebrates are. We are going to see how humans are classified as vertebrates. Humans being as also mammals. We're going to be looking at how humans are mammals. We're going to talk about some of the characteristics of mammals. We're also going to be looking at human beings as primates. We're also going to be looking at some of the characteristics of primates and why we think that humans can fall under that category or classifications of primates. And then finally, we're going to be talking about human beings as unique animals, very unique. And we're also going to be looking at some of the characteristics that proves or shows that humans are actually unique when compared with other living organisms. All right. Now, if you are set, I'm very ready. Let's take a look at it. The first thing we're going to be looking at is an introduction to what we mean by living things. Now, in your year 7 or JSS1, you must have been taught about living things. And we said that living things are things that have life in them and they show certain characteristics, which can be acronymed Mr. Ninja D, or you can call it Mr. Ninja Card, where we said that living things are things that have life. And how do we show that they have life is by several characters they exhibit. And these characters include movement, it includes respiration, it includes nutrition, it includes irritability or sensitivity, it includes growth, excretion, reproduction, competition among them, adaptation, being able to adjust to certain changes in their environment, and then finally death. All living things will die. Okay, is part of the characteristics of living things. Now, you might be wondering, what are living things? What can be called living things? Now, living things ordinarily, there was a particular scientist. His name is called Carolus Linnaeus. Now, Carolus Linnaeus, when he was actually classifying living things, he actually classified them into two main kingdoms. And for your level, we're going to be looking at those two main kingdoms. And those two kingdoms are actually the plant kingdom, and we also have the animal kingdom. Now, the plant kingdom, of course, you know plants. Now, there are several types of plants, but today we're not looking at plants. What we want to really concentrate on is on animals. Now, we have different types of animals or different categories of animals. There are some animals that are unicellular. When we say unicellular, it means that they are made up of just one cell. And these animals are microscopic. It's not something you can see with your visible eyes. You need a microscope to aid your ability to see them. Okay? There are what we call unicellular animals. An example of a unicellular animal is the amoeba. We also have the paramecium, and we have the plasmodium that causes malaria. It is also an animal. We regard them as animals. And there are several characteristics that shows that they are animals. I'm going to just give you probably one or two differences between plants and animals. We're going to be looking at, okay, let's look at some of the differences between plants and animals. Now, one, I'm going to give you let me give you at least 5 or 7, all right? Let me give you about 7. Now, one of them is that plants can't locomote. What do we call locomotion? Now, locomotion is simply the ability to move from the whole of the body from one place to another. Plants can't move the whole of their body. Now, you only see that in cartoons. For instance, you see that the roots of the plant, have you seen a plant pull out from the root, pull out from the soil, and move from one point A, to point B to be replanted? Now, plants can't do that unless you do that yourself, by transplanting them. But on their own, they can't actually move. Now, they can't actually do that kind of motion. Now, but they move. Plants move. Plants most times respond to touch. Plants most times respond to the sun, okay, in order to carry out the process of photosynthesis. The roots of plants actually penetrate deep. That's also movement, okay? They move deep in order to absorb water and mineral salt. Now, that is not what we call locomotion. Now, locomotion is the movement of the whole body of that organism. Plants can only move parts of their bodies, parts. So we say one major difference between plants and animals is that plants can't carry out locomotion, but animals can carry out locomotion. So imagine yourself. Can you move from one place to another? Yes, you can. So you are also an animal. Now, plants do not have special organs for respiration. They don't have a special organ for respiration. Animals have special organs for respiration. For example, we humans, our special organs for respiration is the lungs. We have the respiratory system, and it is comprised majorly of the lungs. And the lungs, that's what it does, respiration. All right? So we have a specific organ for respiration. Is that okay? So that also is another reason for classifying humans as animals. Now, number 3 is that plants can manufacture their own food. We call that autotrophic nutrition. They can make their own food. Animals can't manufacture their own food, so they depend on plants to make. They depend on plants and other animals for food. Now, we call animals that they undergo heterotrophic nutrition, while plants undergo autotrophic nutrition. So it means that animals are heterotrophs. Once again, can you manufacture your own food? No. Can humans manufacture their own food? No. Humans are actually what we call omnivores. They depend on both plants and animals for food. Next, number 4 is what we call irritability. Now, plants' response to certain changes in their environment, changes in terms of light, changes in terms of temperature, changes in terms of wind, changes in terms of so many other things that changes in the environment, their response is usually slow or weak, okay? But not compared to that of animals. Animals' respond to changes in the environment is quick and very fast, all right? Quick and fast. So in other words, what we're saying is that animals respond fast, and humans also have that quick response to changes in their environment. Number 5, animals or plants grow unlimited. They don't stop growing. They grow continuously all throughout life. Okay, they grow continuously throughout life. And this is the last one I'm going to give, just 5 of them. Plants grow unlimited. Their growth is unlimited. They continue growing all through their life. But in terms of animals, at a particular age, they stop growing. So it means that growth in animals is limited, but growth in plants is not limited. So in other words, look at also humans. Humans, there are also a particular age you stop growing. You stop growing. And that means that humans are also animals. Now, apart from humans being animals, animals also can be divided into 2. I'm not talking about unicellular animals. I'm talking about multicellular animals can be divided into 2. Now, if you look at the animal kingdom, we have about 9 phyla. Now, out of those 9 phyla, 8 of them they are called invertebrates. while the other one is called a vertebrate. So in other words, animals can be divided into two. We have vertebrates and invertebrates. Now, vertebrates are actually plants or animals that have backbones. Animals that have backbones, all right? So vertebrates are animals that have backbones, or they have bones within them, while invertebrates are animals that do not have backbones, or they don't have bones within them. They don't have skeletal structures within them. An example of invertebrates, we have organisms like the hydra, okay? We have flatworms like the tapeworm, okay? We have hookworm, we have earthworm, we have the snails. The snails are called the mollusk, octopus, okay? They don't have bones within them. We also have the insects like the cockroach, the grasshoppers. They don't have bones within them, okay? They don't have backbones. We have the crabs. Crabs don't have bones, okay? We have the shrimps. They don't also have backbones. All these are examples, like the snails also, the scorpions. They don't have backbones, all right? Or they don't even have bones within them. So they are not referred to as vertebrates. They are called invertebrates. Now, there are 5 different classes of vertebrates, of which humans is one of them. Now, we have different classes of vertebrates. Please note, fishes are vertebrates. Birds are vertebrates. They have bones within them. Amphibians, which are the frogs and the toad, they are vertebrates. They have bones within them. We have the reptiles, the snakes, the lizards, the crocodiles. They are vertebrates. They have bones within them. We also have the mammals. They have bones within them where human beings fall into. So these 5 categories are vertebrates. Now, note this. Let's mention some of the characteristics of vertebrates. Number 1, vertebrates are animals with backbones. We have established that they have backbones. Number 2, they can be called endoskeletal organisms or animals. Endoskeletal animals. They can be called endoskeletal animals. It means that their skeleton is located within or inside of their body, not outside. Inside, okay? Number 3 characteristics of vertebrates is that their skeletons are made up of bones, it is made up of cartilage, or it is made up of both. Like in humans, it is made up of both. So in humans, we have what we call bones, we have cartilages, okay? Good. While in some other animals, you have only bones. Some of them you have what? Just cartilage. So these are some of the characteristics of vertebrates. We have several of them. But we're not looking at much of those characteristics of vertebrates. Now, humans are animals. Humans are vertebrates. Humans are also mammals. Remember, we just mentioned some things about vertebrates, and I gave you 5 classes of vertebrates. We talked about fishes, which are called pisces. We talked about birds, which are called aves. We have amphibians, which are the toad and the frogs. We have the reptiles, which are the lizards, the snakes, the crocodiles, and so on. And then we have what we call mammals. And I told you that is where man falls in. Okay, so mammals, human beings are mammals. Human beings are mammals. We're still digging. Now, a mammal is an animal that possesses the following characteristic features. Now, let's look at some of the characteristic features of mammals. Number 1, mammals have hair on their body, or they have what we call fur. Now, for humans, we have hairs on our bodies. Now, for other mammals, example of other mammals, we have the goat. The goats, they don't have hairs, they have what we call furs. Now, furs are actually thick hairs that covers all the body of an organism. So examples of mammals, we have the dogs, we have the cats, all the cats. When I'm talking about the cats, we're looking at the lions, we're talking about the tigers, and all the other cats, leopards, and so on. When we're talking about the dogs, we're talking about the hyenas, the wolves, the domestic dogs, the fox, and so on. They are all examples of mammals. We have rats. They are all examples of mammals. We have all the herbivores, that is animals that feed on plants, the horses, the cow, the bull walruses, and so on. All these are examples of mammals. They are all examples of mammals. And if you look at them, they either have hairs or they have furs on their body parts or all of their body parts. Number two is that it does not lay egg but give birth to their young ones alive. So mammals don't lay eggs. Like we have the birds, they lay eggs, they hatch the eggs, and the egg now grows. When it is hatched, the chick now grows to become an adult bird. Then we also have the fishes. The fishes, they lay eggs. We have the reptiles. Reptiles lay eggs. Amphibians lay eggs. But mammals don't lay eggs. They give birth to their young ones alive. And we call that viviparity. All right, please don't forget that word. We call it what? Viviparity. So all mammals are viviparous. They are viviparous animals. Number three is that mammals feed their young ones with milk produced from their mammary glands. Okay, they feed their young ones with milk that is being produced from their mammary gland. Now, the mammary gland is simply the breast. Okay, now all mammals. In fact, this particular number three and number two are major determining factor of which animal is a mammal. Any animal that can breastfeed their young ones, any animal that can give birth to their young ones alive is usually referred to as a mammal. So it's very referred to as a mammal. So these two characteristic features are determining factors that tells whether an animal is actually a mammal or not a mammal. Number four is that all mammals are warm-blooded animals. In fact, let me say majority of mammals are warm-blooded. They are warm-blooded. Now, when we say warm-blooded, another name for warm-blooded is called homeothermic. So it means that they are homeothermic. Now, number five is that mammals have heterodont dentition. Now, what do we mean by dentition? Dentition is the arrangement of teeth, conformation, and numbering of teeth in the mouth. All right? Now, when we say heterodont, it means they are of different shapes, they are of different sizes, and they carry out different functions. Now, if you look at that of humans, we have incisor. Now, the incisor has a different shape, and it carries out a different function. After the incisor, we have the canine, which is for a different function and a different shape. And then we have the premolars and the molars. These also carry out different shape. For instance, we have the incisor, which is at the front side of the teeth. It is usually for grabbing and cutting. And then we also have the canine, which is sharp and pointy, while the incisor, they are chisel shape. Okay. Now, the one that is sharp and pointy, which is the canine, they are used for tearing of flesh and also gripping of food. We also have the premolars and molars, which have a flat surface, and they are mostly for grinding and chewing of food. All right. So that's what we mean by heterodont dentition. Excuse me. We also have number six, which is we said that mammals have what we call four-chambered hearts. Mammals have four-chambered hearts. What do we mean by four-chambered hearts? It means that mammals have, if you check the structure of their heart, the heart is divided into four chambers. We have the right auricle, the right ventricle, we have the left auricle, and the left ventricle. That's four chambers. So all mammals have four-chambered hearts. So that's what makes humans, and all these things I have mentioned about the characteristic features of mammals, human beings possess the same characteristic features. So it means that humans are mammals. Next is human beings as primates. Human beings are primates. Now, what are primates? Now, note this. Primates are also mammals to an extent. But primates also show great difference from that of mammals. Now, primates include human beings and other great apes. Now, every ape, the apes you know, the chimpanzees, the gorillas, the monkeys, and so on, the orangutans, and all that, they are all primates, including human beings. We are all classified as primates. Now, let's take a look at some of the characteristic features of primates. Number one, primates have grasping power, or they can grasp things with their hands. I said that they have grasping thumbs facing each other, or facing other fingers, like we have here. This is a grasping tongue facing other finger, which allow all primates to pick things up and hold objects. So primates can pick things up, they can hold objects on their grip. Mammals can't do that. A dog can't pick something and grasp it or hold it firmly. No. A goat can't do the same, but a goat is a mammal. All right? An elephant can't do the same, grip something with their hands or their fingers. Okay? They don't have fingers. Now, the only animal that, or mammal, that has this ability includes human beings and the apes, and they are referred to as primates. Now, another important function or characteristic features of primates is that primates have eyes in front of them. Okay, as you can see, we have eyes in front of them, of us, in the front of our heads, okay, so that we can see clearly, not on the sides. All right, not on the sides. They don't have eyes on the sides, they have eyes in front. And then next is that they can swing their hands in different directions. They can swing their hands in different directions. You can agree with me that other mammals can't exhibit all these characteristic features. And these characteristic features is exclusively related to human beings as well as the ape family. All right. Now, moving ahead, let's see how different is man. Now, remember we have said man or human beings are living things. We also went ahead to show that human beings are animals. We also went ahead to show or showed you that human beings are vertebrates. We also said that human beings are mammals. And then also we have said that human beings are primates. Now, apart from being primates, human beings are also far different from being primates. Human beings are mammals, they are vertebrates, they are, primates, but they are different and more unique than other animals. And we're going to be looking at some of the reasons why humans are quite different from other animals. Number one, human beings can think and reason. They can think, they can reason, they can pass judgment. So humans are reasonable beings. They are thinking beings. Other animals don't have this ability. Number two is that human beings can take decisions. They can communicate, okay, verbally, language-wise, okay. They can remember and solve problems much better than other groups of animals. You can agree with me. So human beings can solve more problems. They can solve problems far better than other animals. In other words, human beings have a larger brain size and they can think and reason. Like I said again, they can also pass judgment. They can pass judgment. You know, most times I've heard some persons say this, that why you behaving barbaric, or probably why is somebody behaving like an animal? Now, the reason is simple. Humans are not animal. They are higher than animals. But in terms of maybe the person's actions, the other person may have seen that person to be acting like an animal. when the person is expected to behave more maturely and behave more unique. All right. So humans, please take note, they are more unique. Number three reasons why we said human beings are unique than other animals is that they are more intelligent, okay, than other animals because of the size and development of their brain. Now, it is said, and which is on record, that humans have the highest, the largest and highly developed brain in all animals, among all animals. Humans have the largest and also the most developed brain than all animals. And before I also go, let me add to that one. Number three, human beings are the only beings that can stand erect in an upright manner. Now, this is because of the S, will I call it somehow like an S-shaped backbone of man, not like all other animals. Now, for the apes, some of them can stand erect, definitely, but not for a very long time. Not for a very long time. They still go back on all fours when probably running and all the others. But in terms of humans, because of the S-curved shaped backbone, they can stand on their two legs and use their hands to carry out other activities. Okay, so that is very unique, much more unique, a feature that is never expressed by other living organisms. Now, what are the advantages of human beings over other animals? Let's take a look at it. And then we'll wrap up with this. Number one, human beings can stand upright better than other animals. They can stand upright better than other animals. Remember, I just mentioned about the S-shaped backbone. And then number two, they can walk faster and better than other animals. When we're talking about walk faster, we're talking about walking on two legs. Number three, human beings have the ability to remember things very quickly. They have ability to remember things very quickly. Number four, human beings can think, they can reason and reason better than other animals. Number five, human beings can control and manipulate the environment. You can imagine how we have manipulated the environment, building structures, having good roads, building so many things that amazes the eyes. Okay, so human beings can control and manipulate their environment. Number six, human beings can solve problems more intelligently than other animals. And then number seven, human beings can speak and communicate effectively than other animals. And then number eight, human beings can examine, observe things with their sense organs and take decisions on their findings, unlike other animals. So these are some of the advantages of being a human. And once more, I want you to understand this, that human beings are the most unique animals or most unique living organisms in the face of the planet or in the universe at large. Okay, so this is where we're going to call it a wrap up on this particular topic on uniqueness of human beings. Until our next video, bye for now.